So I can't tell you the number of times that we sent an email or picked up the phone to call our archivists to ask them about some piece of the project that was in front of us that we didn't know the history to. The fact that the Frick had these resources was unbelievably valuable. Oftentimes you can do projects, even on landmark buildings, and maybe you'll have some architectural plans or elevations that were filed with landmarks, but it's very rare to have this kind of rich trove of information that includes invoices and photographs from different points of construction, and not just the architectural plans, but actual construction photographs. So we're in the bowling alley, which was built with the original house in 1914. It's in the subcellar. It was actually used by Miss Frick to store her first materials for the Frick Art Reference Library, which in part was made up of documents that she had saved and her family had saved. And starting as early as the 1920s, she actually kept them here. The Frick Archives was established in 1997 and made accessible to the public at that time. But the documents actually date back from as early as 1881. The depth and the thoroughness of the Frick Archives is really unique and special. Hundreds of drawings that were from the 1914 Courtlin and Hastings original mansion, also from the 1935 John Russell Pope expansion, which was quite detailed. The reception hall that was built in 1977 along with the Russell Page Garden. All of these documents were made available to the architects. We looked at plumbing drawings. I mean, a plumbing drawing from 1914 might not seem that interesting, but because the mansion was so ornate, they actually buried all of the plumbing inside the walls, including the leaders from the roof that would take all of the rainwater and take them down to the street level. Those were all buried into these walls. We were getting some leaks and we didn't know how to fix those and where to start. And we were able to, from the drawings, identify exactly where those leaders were. And we were able to address them from the roof level and from the cellar level and not have to disturb them at the galleries at all. Another example is the structural drawings. The main drive of the project was to open up the second floor to be galleries as well. And the curators instantly had questions. Well, what can we put there? Can we put sculpture there? What can the floor take? Is it going to be strong enough? And the answer came to us from those historical drawings. We were able to find the structural documents, both the originals from Courtlin and Hastings, but also the modifications that John Russell Pope made in 1935. He did make actually quite a few changes to the mansion on the second floor. Some walls were taken down, a lot of bathrooms were removed. The Fricks had the foresight that before they made the changes in 1935, they did wonderful documentation of the existing conditions before construction. And they took these wonderful photographs of every room on the second floor. They were black and white, but we spent hours and hours, as did the curators, looking very carefully at these photographs. We knew these spaces were going to become galleries. And we walked through the spaces and we said, well, are we going to put in track lights so that we have modern, flexible lighting for art, as you see in most museums? And we just looked at those photographs and we said, how can we possibly do that? That is just so not in character of these spaces, and what we really want to do is kind of take them back to their original character. So the decision was made to reuse all of the original chandeliers and pendants, as many as we had, and the sconces as well. And those archives are so critical to understanding, where the fixtures had come from, where they had been purchased, which ones were original, which ones were made for the house. Having the Frick archive not only as a resource, but as an inspiration has really impacted the way we started to look at our own project. It's not just about saving the architectural plans. Those are, of course, important, but also to take pictures along the way, and not only of the galleries, but the janitor's closets and the bathrooms and the workers along the way, and all of the people who have contributed to the project, things that you don't think maybe are as important, but they are actually really critical. So we started to take this very studied and careful approach, which was really influenced by the archives that we have today.